Hey, how y'all doing out there? It's me, Glitch Trap. I want to talk about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I know that I'm a bit late on watching that. I promised that we're gonna be a lot more update on the films. I'm having a lot more time. I'll be able to dedicate a lot more time to watching films, and we'll start cranking them out. Because I know that y'all want to hear the commentary from the Glitch Trap. But the Super Mario movie, man, I want to do a cool review on that. Since it's been out for a while, you don't have to worry about spoilers or anything like that. Not that it will be difficult to spoil this Super Mario film. Just like the plot of the games. You know what I'm talking about. They're not the most intricate plots in gaming storyline and gaming storytelling. The same way that's when I get into the good, bad, and ugly, that's gonna be a part of the very ugly of this movie. So let's just get into the brief synopsis. Jack Black plays Bowser, Chris Pratt plays Mario. I thought that I thought that Chris Pratt playing Mario was gonna be bad. I thought that was gonna be, he was gonna bring Star-Lord or bring that type of energy to this, or even the same type of energy he had in Jurassic Park. Just that gung-ho running into action, that wannabe, and I'm not trying to insult him. It's just the wannabe action hero mentality. It's the only way I can describe it. That's the way he acts, in these films. But it's not much range, if you ask me. But when you see, even with Star-Lord, I don't care, those superhero movies, Star-Lord is just arrogant Star-Lord throughout the whole film. But in this movie, I will say that even they tried to give Mario some character arc and range. You understand his motives. They give it a realistic feel to it, to where you can understand his motives. If you just played the games, when we first played Nintendo, if you were American and you didn't know the Japanese lore, you didn't know what Mario was doing. You didn't even know why he was in that world, why he was going through pipes, why he was busting bricks with his hands. Be honest. When you first played the game, everyone at the same, when you first got the game and you played it, did you know what was going on? You didn't know why Mario was doing. Why are you fighting, jumping on the heads of these Goombas and squishing them, and you didn't really care, but but now you wonder, why were you doing that? So in the film, they explain, how he got into that world, what that world is, so I can say that this was, for anyone who didn't know, for most people, you weren't from Japan, and a lot of people don't even suspect that Mario came from Japan, that's a Japanese creation, because it's an Italian plumber jumping on turtles and fighting big dinosaurs and things like that. Even the film that came out with John Leguizamo, that movie there didn't really give you it didn't flesh out as much as this film does the world of the Mushroom Kingdom, and that it's another dimension and things like that. It tried to explain it in a primitive way in that film, in the live action Super Mario Brothers, that a lot of people hate for the most part. This film is definitely worlds better than that one. But you have Anaya Taylor-Joy plays Princess Peach. She was great. Princess Peach was great in this film. Princess Peach was, I'll tell you who, the people who really stole the movie were Princess Peach and Donkey Kong. DK, played by Seth Rogen, was awesome. I like that DK. Seth Rogen is good for that role there, It's not gonna take much for me to break every bone in your tiny little body. I like that, Continue, that's great. I would like a DK movie, a Donkey Kong movie would be awesome. I can get with that. But let's get into the good, bad, and the very ugly of this movie. I pretty much told you all of the good. I kind of, gushed at this movie in the rant, but let's just, the key things are the characters, such as certain characters such as DK, Princess Peach. I like the fact that they explained the world, they fleshed out your knowledge of Mario and what the Mushroom Kingdom is and things like that, and dimensions. I like the way that they had Mario, that Chris Pratt had like the way that they wrote Mario, he had motive and heart. Like, you felt the heart of Mario. He didn't just feel like some video game character just doing stuff just to do it. You understand? So that was a great aspect of the film as well. And yeah, it was a lot of humor. I like the humor in the film, and a lot of lighthearted humor, which is good for the soul, for the spirit, for the heart, for your children. It was great for that. It was a kind of like a straightforward soup. It wasn't many things in the movie where you would have to shield your kids from, or somebody has to warn you about. You don't have a lot of wokeness in this movie. It's straightforward. This movie is 1 hour and 32 minutes long. It's pretty much straightforward, to the point. Director Michael Jelenic and Aaron Horvath there's the directors of this film. They did a good job at the pacing. I'll say the pacing was good. Now, we can get to the bad here. The bad, I would say, is Bowser. Bowser's bad. I don't like Jack Black as Bowser. Bowser, his voice should be deeper, for one. It should be deeper, have more bass, more of a growling gruff to it. Jack Black, it's too light. His voice is too light. Bowser should be playful in some ways. More like Bowser should be like, one of those characters who's serious, but the people around him, they are the ones who are goofy, and he has to, to subordinate, to get them in line, kind of like a Megatron. That's how Bowser should be. And again, I know you're working this in a more kid-friendly genre than Transformers, but they're both children's films, like in children's properties. So you can get Bowser. They could do Bowser better, I think. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe Jack Black can take another stab at it, but I would rather somebody else, take that role. So that was bad for me. I didn't really like that. I didn't really feel that you needed, this is just my opinion. I didn't really feel that a lot of that you needed to see this, and why I'm saying is because you didn't really need to see this long of a full-length Mario film. This could have been like a 30-minute short or something, because the power-ups and things like that Mario get, that's what I didn't catch. Like, maybe someone can fill that in for me in the comments on why these things are just around floating. Bricks, blocks, all these things, like, why aren't, like, I get this is alternate dimension, but why are these things just floating around in power? Just cause? Okay, I'll take that, but that's kind of just part of the bad. It's just like you're just flowing through a video game, somebody playing a video game, and it gets to that point in certain parts of the movie. It even cuts to like a side-scrolling scenes. They even have scenes where they cut to like side-scrolling viewpoint, and it looks like a video game. Another thing that's bad for me is the pacing of some of the scenes. Like, they be moving so fast. Like, they don't need to move so fast. Like, it's like Mario's doing a speed run through some of those scenes. And but that's that on that. But now, the ugly of the film, the very ugly is what I can say is the ugly of the film is the fact that the storyline is so primitive. Like, this isn't going to be this isn't Shakespeare. We know that. even the in the storyline, Mario is one of the first video games platformers to come out, like that really captivated people with Nintendo. And the story kind of like Mario, the character, like first he started in Donkey Kong, but they kind of changed him. Like he evolved Mario evolved throughout the years. So the beginning stories of Mario are pretty much nothing. Like I mean, he was saving Princess Peach from Donkey Kong. Then he ended up the next game. He's in warp pipes and jumping through, on turtles and stuff like that. You like what? So it's a bunch of random events, and you just really don't, it's not a fleshed out story. It's the same thing, in this film. You're not gonna get much storyline here, and for some people, at some instances, like you're gonna, it takes you out the film. You're gonna be looking at your phone. This isn't that the engagement of this film is kind of like really just based on the mood that you're in, like, or if you got, or what you got going on in your life at the time. If you got some important things going on, you're not gonna really be looking at this film, And I found myself having to watch this thing 3 and 4 times because I couldn't just finish it. Even as I'm speaking to you now, there's still certain things that I'm looking at, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I see that happened very fast, And it's just, these things you get, it's like a Mario game. That's part of the ugly for me. But other than that, I enjoyed the film. I mean, somewhat. I enjoyed the film, I would say. I like it, but I really do mean the film is 1 hour and 32 minutes. It could have been 45 minutes and it would have been mwah. And then take Jack Black, out of it. Like, somebody else could play Bowser, maybe change that up a bit. And you can kind of just explain, just give us a quick one-over of what's going on in the Mushroom Kingdom, a little more. Like, I know you fleshed it out, a little bit more than we ever knew, but you can go further. But Donkey Kong, man, you did that one, Seth Rogen. So with that being said, what do I give Super Mario Brothers? I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Yes. I'll give the Super Mario Brothers movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's worth watching, taking your kids to see, and if you ever played the games, if you want to see it one time, that's fine. But I really do think that those who are fans of the game and the and who play Smash Bros, you're only gonna want to see this movie one time just to say you saw it. But you'll definitely get a kick out of DK. So with that being said, this is The Glitch Trap. I'm gone. Bye.